Why would I think my life is being set up?
I was just reading the script, man. Honestly, I had a hunch back there, but I don't remember what thought.
You had a hunch I'm living
What
the
thought
Truman
led
Show?
to it. No, why I chose the Truman Show for tonight.
Yeah, that was a peculiar choice considering my situation, considering I'm up of what I've told you about SAP.
Yeah. I don't know what thought led to that. What thought pattern.
Well, I particularly didn't want to watch it because of the scenario with SAP. That's why I don't want to watch it.
All right. If you choose so, still a great movie.
I'm not saying anything about the movie. I'm just saying it's not something I would enjoy watching right now, considering my situation with SAP. Or Sky.
Paranoid. It will only drive you paranoid.
No, I don't get paranoid.
No.
I know the facts.
Huh.
I know what I'm up against. I know what I'm dealing with.
It smell bad in here?
Does it smell bad? No.
Alright. I usually don't care, like I just leave the door open.
But what was your hunch, though? What do you mean by you had a hunch?
I don't know.
I'm living the Truman Show.
Like I said, I have a lot of hunches.
But I want you to elaborate on that. What do you mean by you had a hunch?
I don't remember what thought led to that, but I chose the Truman Show for a particular reason.
Which was what?
I don't recall. That wine, man, it's contorts your thought patterns.
You hadn't drank a glass of wine before you chose the Truman Show.
Yeah, but now I did, and now I can't remember.
Oh.
I'm not even tipsy, but like slightly tipsy. I'm on my way to tipsy.
From one glass?
1.5, yeah.
You have 16 Jack Daniel bottles up there, man. I'll tell you one thing.
Broke. I don't got money. That's why I chose wine, because wine is like only 1/4 of the price of a Jack Daniels bottle. I'd say 1/3, because it's like $18, $18.99 German.
Can I ask you a question, actually?
Can I ask you a question? How much does Jack in Canada or US? It ought to be cheaper.
I haven't drank Jack
Here
in
it's
a long time.
$18.99.
$18.99.
Yeah. I'd be curious because if it's like something crazy like $13.99, I'd be like, holy shit, I'll be all over that.
Can I ask my question now?
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead.
And you don't have to answer this because it's personal, right? You genuinely don't. Why was your dad deported? Because to get deported is a big fucking thing. You either have to do some... SAP couldn't get your dad
It's easy.
deported.
Answer's simple.
SAP did it?
The answer's right before your very eyes.
You?
Yeah.
Why?
What do they call it? Sorgerecht in English. It's like child support, but it's like the parents, they split their
Yeah.
right over the child, like who has a child, right?
But you can't deport someone
One
over
has
that.
the domain.
But he can still live in Germany.
I mean, my mother could have said, all right, I'm never gonna let you meet your father.
That
Say his
doesn't...
name. A lot of mothers do that. That's a
But-
shitty thing to do.
That doesn't make any sense.
Because a father plays an important role in a boy's life.
One second.
Yeah.
How can you deport somebody? That mean you can't get deported over that. That's impossible.
It is possible. It is.
To deport someone just because another parent doesn't
He
want you
wasn't
to
a
see...
citizen in Germany. He was just studying.
Right.
Yes, he couldn't finish his studies because my mother deported him.
But you
He went
can't
to the
just
police.
deport someone.
He went to the police.
But had he committed a crime?
No, they just
Then-
didn't
then-
marry, so his visa expired.
So then he
So
doesn't
he
have to
got
get deported. He
She
just
knew
gets on
that.
a plane and
She
goes
knew
back.
that. So she got him deported. I always blame her.
No, but the thing is, if your visa runs out, you just got on a plane and go home. You don't have to get deported. I know exactly what deported is. You have to have done something wrong.
Not necessarily.
100%.
Well, first of all, overstaying a visa is illegal. It's very illegal.
Right?
And technically you won't be able to catch a flight. But my father did it anyway, because I remember 2006, he did a surprise visit. He visited us. I remember he just knocked on the door, right? He didn't even tell us about it. And I was like surprised. And my mother, I will always remember that look. My mother looked at him like,
Okay,
like he was dead to her.
No, but like I need to know because if I'm in a situation without my passports, because I know who stole my passports.
Mm.
I know people who overstayed.
You ought to have a visa. I know you're not a citizen. You ought to have like a work visa or something.
Yeah, I know, but it's not that. It's who stole them. That's the most important thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Shit, if this wasn't Georgia, I just asked my uncle, hey man, can I have that rifle? And he'd be like, yeah, there's a nut spread to it, kid.
what's it got to do with getting deported?
You know, take care of things. Nothing really.
What are you talking about?
But we
Shooting
can trace
somebody?
we can trace back these guys, and you know these. They might have aluminum bats or whatever, but we got a fucking rifle. So, fuck those guys. Shoot the door down. Of course, that never works, by the way. Shooting a door down. I've done it. Tried a lot of things with guns. We
But
shot
I know-
a really
but-
cheap American door down, and it worked. But it took us like 300 and what was it, 26 rounds, and we had to aim at the doorknob. We couldn't just shoot a hole through it. That wouldn't work. You had to kick through it. Even American doors aren't that. You know.
You know the weird part is though. Anytime I've done couch surfing, it's all. I'm not talking about here, but I'm talking about. It's always been like a weird psychological.
Yeah, I'm the exception to every rule, man.
No, but it's weird. Even an Italian guy I stayed with.
My couch surfing experience was really nice, and I wrote it to everyone in English. I thought I was American.
Do you know who
Some
stole my
German
SAP
state.
laptop? A couch surfer. Do you know who stole 4 terabytes of my information? Couch surfers.
Yeah.
Do you know everything you know what they also stole? My sleeping
Been
medication.
careful now, not to put the blame on you, but maybe I've been too careful now because people look through profiles.
Look through.
Profiles.
Right. At that point, I had no profile.
Yeah, but they
I had
people
no
look
references.
through. Like first of all, change your name to Barry Fraser instead of Bar Frost.
What's that got to do with someone stealing your laptop?
Because they profile you too, because you sound like you're Armenian or something.
No,
You mentioned you were from Canada. I'm
I'd
like,
stayed
oh,
with this
okay.
guy for 3 weeks. Then he stole the laptop.
Yeah, but I don't know. You just gotta choose the right people. Even I took my time with it, and I was on time with Nick because
So
my
comments.
sister would have kicked me out, right?
So how am I supposed to have any time? Every single person I've gone to has done a criminal act. So Commerce Bank can't close a bank account. When I went to Sparkasse, I've looked on BaFin. You cannot physically close a bank account in Germany without notification. I was in Lisbon.
Actually, it will close if you don't respond to those letters in the mail. And notice it.
Dude.
Or
I
they
had
shut
no
down.
notification. I had a gold credit card, right? Krankenkasse from AOK paying me 2,700 euros a month. As soon as I go to Lisbon, 1 week before my court date, Arbeitsgericht, they shut my AOK 2,700 illegally. They closed my bank account with my money in it and closed my gold credit card. Because my thought was, if it ever gets so bad in Germany that I can't, then I'll just use my gold credit card and leave. And my passports, right? I have 2, not many people have 2, got stolen the first day I got back to Germany in Bonn, directly after I got back from European Court in Strasbourg.
Jeez, that's tough.
No, but I know who did it. I've told the police who did it, and they don't do anything. I know exactly who's got them.
Yeah.
But the whole point is, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know. I've never used couchsurfing until I came to Germany. But if you don't pay them, close their bank account, cut off their Krankengeld, right? What are you supposed to do? The guy that I stayed with on couchsurfing, I didn't ask him to steal my laptop. That would be like you. Let's say Telecom gives you a laptop,
Yeah.
and I stole your laptop. There is no rhyme, no reason. There's nothing you can say about someone stealing someone's laptop that can justify that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there?
No, it's not.
Right. An SAP laptop, they stole it. And then basically wrote me an email saying if I tell anyone, I'll terminate you. Is that a normal thing to say?
What? You got an email from
No,
the guy who stole
so
it?
look, you know where it was? It was in Trier,
Yeah?
right? So I had 4 lawyers in Trier, all against SAP and Sky Deutschland. All the lawyers took my money, took all the evidence, and then said, you know how many lawyers I've had? 7. All took my money, all said, yes, we'll represent you. And then when it came to the court date, basically said, I don't speak English. The guy that I was staying with in Trier, the reason I know him was, he knew a social worker. Guess who he worked for? Caritas and AWO. Guess what they did? They stole all my information in Terabyte, and the guy who tried to pretend he was my friend took my SAP laptop. I said, can I have my SAP laptop back? And then he wrote an email like that. Is that a normal thing? Firstly, you steal it, and then secondly, you say, I'll terminate you. I've given it to the police and they don't do anything. I've even told them where he lives. Huh?
They're under tied. Yeah, this is really.
So, no, but the whole point is, if there's so much money involved, right? And SAP obviously didn't treat your dad well. What I'm saying is, anytime I go down a judicial route, and I have no crimes to my name, go down a judicial route, they do absolutely nothing.
Actually, my father kind of didn't treat SAP well. He wasn't at the headquarters. He didn't work his way up yet. But his boss had to wake him up every morning because...
What was his job?
He was, I'm not quite sure. He
What
actually kept his briefcase from SAP with the SAP logo on it for a very long time. Like, I went to school with him and all that.
Yeah, but SAP at my workplace is trying to force me to take Class A drugs. So yes, I do have pictures and videos of all the Class A drugs.
But why did you take pictures in the first place?
Because my boss, who's from London, had a bell on his desk. And every time he rang the bell...
Bells, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we have something similar to that.
No.
Like if someone is really successful, you have like shots.
Dude, I'm not in a sales environment. I'm running an IT job for Volkswagen, right?
So what is a bell? What's the bell's purpose?
The bell's purpose is whenever, and it could be any time during the day, that he feels he wants to, so he will ring the bell, and you have to come off a conference call or stop whatever you're doing and either take absinthe, cocaine, or no, Class A drugs. There was a fridge full of it. I said, I'm not doing that. So then he started deleting all my work. So if I'm set, so you know about IT, right? Do you know what Sandbox? So in IT, right, so let's say you have a large client like Telecom, right?
Yeah.
And they want to upgrade their software. I need to basically build a sandbox, which is where they can fool around with the technology and not break anything. Then you go to development, which is, right? So what he would do is, I would create a sandbox or development or get a production ready. So these are environments. He would then delete my environment during the night. I would wake up in the morning and I have 50,000 emails from all over the world saying, what the fuck have you done? I'm like, and you know what he'd say? Do it again. Is that normal? And SCP knew he was...
ridiculous.
Right. The other thing he would say is, we were on a conference call. One of the guys on our team was Persian. So on a conference call, SAP deemed it was okay to call this guy a terrorist. Not by his name, he was called the terrorist. So there's people from all over the world on this conference call, and my boss is referencing him. So Barry, can you do this? Peter, can you do that? And by the way, the terrorist, can you do this? And nobody said nothing. You can't do that.
It's not professional.
No, and then he would make sexist comments against fucking the women there. The thing is, you know mobbing?
Yeah, it's a German word for bullying, right?
Right. So basically, before I got there, he was already doing this, right? So I got interviewed by a German and a Bulgarian person. And they're like, oh, you know what? You have to meet Andrew in the pub, and he's going to tell you what you need to do. I'm like, okay. So basically, if I didn't buy 2 crates of beer every 3 days, I'm not a team player, I'm fired. If I don't do Class A drugs in the fridge every time he rings the bell, I'm fired.
What does Class A mean? Like heroin?
No, like ecstasy, cocaine, amphetamines.
Amphetamines, okay.
Okay, so I can't be doing, so basically, my client was Volkswagen, right? So I'll be on a conference call with Volkswagen, I'm writing them an email, I can't even see the screen. So he could quite easily turn that around to me and say, you're a fucking... The thing is, who I worked for was SAP Hybris. SAP Hybris is a subsection of SAP, right? Human Resources is only 20 meters away. And they did absolutely nothing. And then what would happen is I'd walk through the door and he'd shoulder me. You can't do that, right? So then what would happen is everyone, even on my first day, there was like an American girl, about 5 people. He introduced everyone, and when it got to introducing me, wouldn't do it. They were supposed to teach me German, didn't do it. Everyone got sent on training classes, and I had to learn by instant messaging one of our team members in Poland. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. They won't train me. She was teaching me through IM because I didn't get any of the training classes. Everyone else got it, not me. It's not normal, is it?
No, it's not fair.
Right. So basically, this went on, and he went, when you come back from Australia, when you come back from wherever they were in the world, I'm going to fire this bitch. And he's pointing at me. So I locked my drawer. I said, screw this. I told HR, Marcus Mitter. And then what happened was, I went to Heidelberg and I showed them all the evidence of the pictures, everything. I'm like, this is the third largest IT company in the world. You cannot behave like this. So they're like, no. I said, can you send me to another office? No. We think you should go on Krankengeld. So I don't want to go. Yeah, sickness leave.
Oh.
Right. So I said,
Oh, okay.
right. So then that makes me look bad, right? So I'm like, I don't want to go on Krankengeld. They're like, well, we can't figure out any other option. I said, yeah, but you put me in a scenario to fail. I said, I actually said, there was a conference call of multi-million euros that was about to get fucked up by the team, and I saved it on the conference call because I put the conference call on mute, and I said, that's bullshit, you can't do that. We then went back on and saved a major, I said, I saved a major client for you. So what happened was, and you tell me this is normal, an ombudsman, right, which is supposed to be neutral. You don't support SAP, and you don't support me. You just take in the evidence, right? Mm-hmm. Her name was Margaret Annan. Do you know what she told me? She said, if you tell anyone what's going on at SAP, we can no longer protect you. Is that a good thing to say? What would you think if someone told you that?
What was that thing she say?
If you tell anyone what happened at SAP, we will no longer protect you.
Oh.
Is that not a threat? Would you deem that a threat?
That is definitely it. Yeah, I mean,
that's not a good thing to say, is it?
It's like declining their service.
No, yeah. But what they said is, SAP will no longer protect you. I'm like, what do you mean by that? What are you going to do to me? That's not a good thing to say.
Oh, yeah, in that case, it is.
Right.
It can be considered a threat.
Right. So then, that's why I had my lawyer in Hanover, and basically what happened was, they said, oh, we fired him. I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. You didn't fire me because once I left Munich, I was staying in hotels and jumping hotels because I thought, you know what, fuck it, 2,700 euros is enough to live on, right? A month. I just get to the court date and then I go. So what they did was, they fucked up my finance code, they screwed up, they didn't pay AOK, so then I had to go to AOK in Lime, Munich, and go, what the hell is this? That's why I ended up speaking to the director of AOK, who's Bernard Adam. I'm like, so you now have three major of the biggest corporations in Germany, AOK, Commerzbank, and SAP, and you're telling me you can't even get one payment right? He's like, oh yeah, so what happened was, I had a lawyer in Cologne, Bettman. He actually took on the German government. He's a high-profile lawyer, right? I showed him all the legal documents. He burst out laughing. I said, this is not funny. But why were you laughing? He said, no, sorry, I'm not laughing at you. Do you know what he said? All the legal documents don't make any sense in German. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, none of the sentences finish. So if they're writing a legal document from AOK or Commerzbank, the sentence would go along. And this is Mr. Fraser, and he was a client of ours, and the sentence wouldn't finish. So he's like, these 5 pages of legal documents, that none of the sentences finish. It's not even a real document. He said, that's why I'm laughing. He's like, you've been hoaxed from the start.
Oh my God.
Yes. So to my eye, because in my contract, they were supposed to teach me German, as well as Sky Deutschland. Do you know who my boss was in Sky Deutschland? The only reason I took Sky Deutschland was, right, I've had some shit bosses, I've had some good ones. I should never have left Royal Bank of Canada. If I'd have stayed in that job, you know how this started? I was an IT manager at RBC, right? Royal Bank of Canada, it's a good bank. $100,000 a year, full benefits, everything. And 3 of my best friends, I didn't realize was jealous of my lifestyle. And they convinced me to give up my lifestyle and go to Lloyd's on a £400 a day job that didn't exist. So I gave up my life in Canada. I was dating beautiful girls. I had a beautiful dog. I had a beautiful apartment. You're asking how this happened? I got hoaxed by my friends and a doctor because a doctor got me hooked on that sleeping tablet before I had all the accidents, right? And basically was convincing me to go back. three of my best friends in London convinced me, and my ex-boss in London, because I worked for Lloyd's, was like, oh, you've done all this in Canada now. They were all on my Facebook, right? And see, look, I was, in 5 years, I went from a project coordinator to I was going to be VP pretty soon, right? I was like shooting through the roof. Unbeknownst to me, I took all my friends to Toronto. I got them dates with NBA cheerleaders. I took them all over the place. I bought them designer clothes. I did everything for them, right? Everything. Unbeknownst to me, jealousy was eating away at them, and I couldn't see it. I touched down in London, and that's when it all started. My boss from SAP, guess where he's from? London. At the same time, there was a whole bunch of political things going on. The two passports I have, one is Canadian, one is UK. So I left the UK a long time ago to build a life in Canada. Unbeknownst to me, I would probably still be in England because most of my friends were in England. All the trouble came from the north, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if you look at my last name, right? Where does it come from? The north. So there was a whole bunch of political shit going on there. I got too good too quickly. People got jealous. They pigeonholed me. So that job in Lloyd's, I went to Liverpool. It's funny that there's a Liverpool sign out there. But two of my best friends, Toby Ibbotson, who got the best grade in my class, was from Liverpool, and he got me the job at Lloyd's. Once I realized what happened, I did 4 weeks at Lloyd's and Toby was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, in a nice way. He's like, you made a big mistake, go back. And everyone, other than my friends in London, in England, were like, you got hoaxed, go back to Canada. So I went back to Canada. Lloyd's wouldn't pay me. The whole of RBC came to a standstill, right? That's why I went to Calgary. Because Toby managed to get Lloyd's to pay me £15,000, which was like $30,000. I'm like, fuck it. I lost my part. They took my dog, right? They took my dog. That's why I got headhunted in Calgary. I'm like, you know what? I'm more than capable of starting again. What happened was, then Calgary got flooded, like New Orleans. I lost everything. All of my best friends that I went to school with, Costa Banopoulos, fucking Dwight Cameron, they were all jealous that I went to Martin Grove High School and became one of these senior execs because all their lives were shit. So then what happened was I thought, screw it. That's why I came to Germany, right? I'll totally start again. So the moment it was March 10th, 2013, this started. Right. So I was set for life in RBC. Set for life. My boss at Sky Deutschland, considering all that happened, he was a German guy. He clearly knew what he was doing. I'm like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. I had 3 interviews. I said, I'm going to join with you. The day that I started, he got promoted and I got an American lady. So I'm an IT manager and I don't have a computer. So she throws a bunch of papers on my desk. I'm like, what's this? She says, we're agile. Now, agile basically in technical terms means you don't have to go through the waterfall methodology, right? So then Sky Deutschland didn't pay me. Then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, this guy's super gifted. I was doing 5 jobs at once. I was in HR, I was doing my IT job, I was fixing projects, I was doing this. And for that woman to cover her ass, because they were all trying, I'd only been there like a couple of months, and the whole team was like, fuck, you know what you're doing. We're going to try and get her out and promote you to her job. I'm like, no. I don't want to get involved in this. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm happy with my IT manager job. Just leave it alone. That's why that scenario happened there. Then I went to Munich. He basically told me in civil court, an individual is not allowed to go to court. That was bullshit. So what happened was, he went to court, Sky Deutschland paid the money for me, and he took it. And I never got it back. So about 2 weeks later, I got a job at SAP. And my boss happens to be from London. Now I'm like, you know what, Barry, just do your job, shut up. If he tries to be an ass, just... But if you literally handcuff someone by not giving them the technology, deleting their work, forcing Class A drugs, I'm starting to like, is this a setup? It was a setup, right? And the whole thing they're going after is my psychology. But I'm a very strong-minded person. But what I'm saying is now, every single time, and one of the reasons I came to Germany was I thought bureaucracy. They're always supposed to do everything right. It has been totally criminal. But the point is, I've not given up. That's why I went to Couchsurfers. Now, you know why the reason all this has happened? is because I was a dude way, way up there about to become the next big thing in Toronto, and they made me super vulnerable. And people have actually said, a couch surfer in Cologne, because I stayed in Cologne one time, went, do you think you're better than me? I don't know this guy from anywhere. He said, do you think you... I'm like, dude, I don't know you, man. Why would you say something like that? And it's almost
Jealousy.
but it's, I was way up there. The thing is, I treated everyone like gold my whole life. Anyone was in trouble, I'm the first one there. What do you need? What do you want? I'll do it for you. That's who I was. But all I get now is, oh, you were this super high profile guy. Now you're down there. And they're just kicking me down, 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 so I can't get back up. That's what's happening. That's why, you remember the second day I was here, they're like, how can this happen to a guy like you? Is one, jealousy, greed, money, sex. So, but...
Sex.
No, but the problem is, if I have no money, I can't date anyone, I can't network, I can't go to a bar, I can't meet friends.
Yeah.
Right. So, on the superficial level, it looks like nothing's happening. But if you cut someone's legs off, oh, I can't go out, right? I don't have nice clothes. I can't go to a bar. I can't go to a club. I can't meet anyone. You isolate, 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 break the law, and hope he gives up. That's why I'm in this position.
Yeah.
March 10th, 2013, one of my closest friends, Michael Marsden, was jealous as fuck. Ryan Duncan, Costabanopoulos, and about 5 people I went to high school with. All on my Facebook, and all the other people were senior VPs from Lloyd's Bank. Now, when I was at Lloyd's Bank, I wasn't really anyone, right? I was just a project coordinator, but I was on high-level projects. The NHS, which is the National Health Service, fucked up my whole thing. They're the one that busted my leg. They're the one that busted my foot. And for about the first 2 years of me going back to Canada, it took me 2 years to get over what the UK did. All of a sudden, I took 2 years and I'm skyrocketing. I'm dating models. I have friends all over the place. And I actually took friends from the UK to my apartment in Toronto and spent thousands on them. NFL games, NBA games, went to America, Buffalo Bill, everything. I'm like, whatever you need, I'm doing well, I'll give you whatever you want. Unbeknownst to me, they were stabbing me in the back and setting me up. The problem is now, is that everyone sees I was this high-level guy. Oh, he did model. Who the fuck do you think you are? This guy in Cologne, just to be nasty, do you know what he did? I was on a sofa. He put glass down the side of the bed. That's how I got glass in my foot. Dude, I don't know this guy from anywhere. But the problem is, when you're on couch surfing, I could be walking, like you said, you were a bit skeptical, right? You just met me at a bus stop. Cool. Couch surfing is a bit of a shit show. You could be meeting anyone. This guy in Tria, who's Italian, I get on very well with Italians. I like Italians a lot. The guy who got me a job at RBC, Danny Quadriciocchi, one of my best friends. What this guy did was, he went fucking psycho. So anytime I've gone to a social worker or a volunteer organization, who are they owned by? The government. Who have I worked for? Banks. SAP. Could they do this to me 20 years ago? No, because you just weren't connected enough. Everybody's connected now. Even on my LinkedIn, right? My LinkedIn, they were hacking my LinkedIn. So should I be able to walk into any tech company in the world and then throw a job at me? Yes. But what's happening is, they actually said, you never even worked in Canada. That's bullshit, because I have the references on my laptop.
Yeah.
Right? SAP, and the problem is, did they give me a job at SAP on purpose? Because SAP is one of the... So look, is IBM used by every single IT company? No. Is SAP used by every single IT company? Almost. Because they're in almost everything.
Yeah.
So if SAP blackballs me, where do I go? And if I'm isolated, how many people can go from 10 years old living by themselves to running a $700 million project at Bank of America in another country? How many people can do that?
Very few.
Right. So basically they're like, As I told you, if I did have a network like you, like either one other person.
That sounds like you knew a lot of people, don't you know? Someone
I did. Dude, I knew hundreds of people.
Yeah.
But what happens is, if I pay you $10,000, will you stop talking to this guy? Money. Who are the organizations I work for? Banks. I was about as well networked as you can get. Really, I was. And what happened was that network of hate, and they're trying to make me out. So I'm just trying to get my life back, right? I had a coffee. This will show you how ridiculous it is. I had a coffee with someone that I don't know in Trier. I've gone to every organization in Germany that's supposed to help me. You're a whistleblower. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, whistleblower? I'm just trying to get my life back at this, but they try and pigeonhole you into a word, right?
Yeah.
And then cut all my friends or give them money. If someone turned around to you right now, you don't have a job, right? And I don't know you that well. I'm just going by what I see. What would you say if someone knocked on your door tomorrow and went, if I give you $40,000, not to do something bad to me, just don't talk to them? Would you take it?
Shit, I don't know.
Right. How do you isolate someone? But the thing
I
is,
feel like I'd take it, but I'd still tell you. But then that would probably screw me.
well, but what I'm saying is that's
Yeah.
how they do it, right? So it looks like no crime is taking place. You said, how does a guy like you with a personality like you and dressed up be isolated? That's how they do it. So if I'm going to police station after police station, my only hope is social media. Now, when I was in Duisburg, they tried to screw with my mind, right? It was constantly attacking my sleep. They said, if you don't give yourself to God, you're going to die. And they said, it's an opportunity for you to die on the streets of Germany. Complete psychos. I'm 42, I knew exactly what they were doing. But if I have no money, no bank account, and you know what? Because I've technically worked over 1 year in Germany, right? Because my lawyer in Hanover proved it was technically impossible that you fired him. SAP then went, yeah, you're right, we didn't fire him. So what happened was, he set up a date for the Munich Arbeitsgericht, and at that point I was exhausted because I was staying in a bed and breakfast in Hanover, and my stuff, someone would steal one sock. Not both socks, one. So continually playing with me, right? They're playing with me. So I thought I need to be on the ball when I go to court. That's why I went to Portugal, and I had a good time there. And when I put my card in the account, in my bank teller to get back here, that's when they closed my bank account. Not one letter, not one warning, not one phone call, not one email. So I had to get, in a Cosmo, how many people I got from Lisbon to Bonn with no money.
Wow.
How many people can do that? They know I'm gifted and they are trying to destroy me. So what happened was I picked the prettiest girl on the train in Lisbon. I said, so I went Lisbon to Porto. I got the prettiest girl on the Porto train. Can you get me to Vigo? I collapsed on the floor in Vigo. Random people. I remember I said, someone's looking after me because they're subjecting me on a superficial level. It's very difficult to tell what they're doing to me because if I walk another 100 meters, no one can see what they did 100 meters before, right? So someone got off the train in Vigo and said, are you okay? I said, no, I'm not. Complete random stranger went, signaled his girlfriend, we got to help this guy. Put me in a bed and breakfast, and I got some rest. I then got a train to Madrid. I have an ex-girlfriend that lives in Madrid. I went to the Spanish police. I said, can you find this person? She has a very unique name, right? No, do it yourself. I'm like, I'm in a bad situation here. I need your help. You know what? Do it yourself. I'm like, oh my God. So what happened was, I'm in Madrid. Who do I come across? A reverend in the middle of fucking nowhere. Javier, I don't speak very good English. I told him what happened. He's like, God is telling, I have to help you. He paid for a Flixbus from Madrid to Paris. So now I'm in Paris. I'm like, I know someone in Paris. He's a magician. I know him very well. Can you get in contact with him? No, do it yourself. So I found a church. Nobody was there. I went to a bakery. 3 students overheard my story because I'm like, I need some fucking help here. One guy, Sebastian, was like, hold on a second, this sounds outrageous. This is just my story from Lisbon, right? He's like, I gotta help you. This is crazy. Because I proved it to him. He was a student, he called his bank, extended his overdraft, paid me on a first-class train from Paris to Bonn, and I collapsed in a hospital. And I missed the date at the Munich Arbeitsgericht. Then I went to BaFin and they said, yes, that's completely illegal, get a lawyer. So then I had 7 lawyers. All took me up to the point of saying, what they've done to you is completely criminal, we've proved your case, but the point is, I can't stabilize enough to physically get myself to that cord. Every time I get close to getting to that cord, they blockade me with something. Right? Steal his bank card, steal his clothes. Do you know how many times, you know that sleeping tablet? How many times I've had that sleeping tablet stolen? So I get exhausted. I'm a very, very strong person and I know what they're doing. But because we live in a world of technology, you're talking to your TV pretty much, right? Right. We live in this world now, right?
Yeah.
So all you have to do is basically blacklist me. I've not dated in 5 years. And they send me all kinds of shit on email, horrible stuff. I just delete it. So as an example, this guy, Michael, who's now saying all this bad...
What kind of stuff? Like hookup sites?
Oh, they'll just try and break your mind. They'll bombard you with all kinds of just shit. Right?
Yeah.
So then I have to keep changing emails. So why am I continually on Couchsurfers? Some people are nice. Some. I think, Kevin, I don't know. But I'm having to put literally my life in the hands of someone I've just met. Now this guy in Tria, right?
Yeah.
He's actually married to an Asian girl. He did actually help me out for a month. Then he realized how vulnerable I was, and just because he could, he stole my SAP laptop. I have the police reports right here. So what happened was, this guy in Duisburg, and they were attacking me like you cannot, like that's a warped place. It's demented. Psychologically demented. I went to the university.
Which place?
Duisburg.
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah. So I'm in the university, I turn my back for 2 seconds, someone steals my phone. The university won't record it. I'm in an apartment, someone breaks in my apartment, doesn't steal nothing, but just breaks my brand new iPad so I can't put anything on social media. So in reality, it's not like I'm coming directly at you, but it's passive aggressive, so I'm trapped.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
I do.
And they didn't break the whole iPad, they broke just the bottom part, so I can't use any of the controls. The rest of the screen works. So if I go and tell someone, you're fucking crazy, that's why I know I'm mentally very strong, the whole paranoia thing. They've done it.
That sounds crazy. Can
Right.
I see it?
Right. No, but the thing is, if you do it once, maybe. If you do it 10,000 times, then it's pretty fucking obvious what you're trying to do.
There's a pattern.
No, we're talking at least 10,000 times.
Yeah.
I've been here since 2015, right? From the moment I left SAP, they've done the same exact scenarios, has to be over 1,000 times. I'll steal one sock, and then you might be like, first time I was like, fuck, where's that sock gone? If you do it to me 200 times, in the exact same way, I know what you're doing, right? And the thing is, because they know I'm strong, right? And I am strong, they'll go after that sleeping medication so I don't sleep. They'll steal my very nice clothes. So if you don't know me and I'm walking past, it makes me look like I'm homeless. Yet I'm one of the highest level execs in the world. Right? And that's how they do it. We live in a microcosm now. You can walk around literally in a bubble and they can kind of keep you in that bubble. Because I went to Dusseldorf, one of the police reports I have, Dusseldorf. I've worked over 1 year. If you work over 1 year, I'm still technically employed by SAP because they never terminated me. I still don't have a termination notice. I went to Dusseldorf. Now what happened was, this is where, remember I told you that guy from Diakoni?
Who?
The guy Ulrich who stole my, the priest who threw 20 euros in my face.
Oh, the priest, yes.
Right. So, do you know how I know that guy from Diakoni? I was in Dusseldorf, right? So, when I was in Dusseldorf, I went to the job center. I'm like, you owe me money. And they're like, okay, you have to prove that you've worked over a year. So I sent them all the emails, I sent them all the legal documents, and then they went, actually, you know what? We're not giving you any money. So, by German government law, I'm supposed to be getting paid job seekers every month. They don't give me the money. So what happened was, I ran down to virtually nothing on one of my cards, and I came across Diakoni. And I thought, like you, I'll go in and help. This Ulrich guy was like, don't worry, I'm going to save the day, come and stay at my house. 100 Ackerstrasse. He then stole my terabyte, my clothes, my everything. So that's what I'm saying. So I need to trust at least one person who's gonna not do something bad and allow me to get my life back. I'm telling you, if I get to the Arbeitsgericht in Munich, right, and this stops with SAP, there's a good chance all of it would stop. But the problem is, if I'm trusting couch surfers, and mostly people who are on couch surfing don't have big mansions, why the fuck would they go on couch surfing? It's people who are not financially overly stable and they want to meet friends. Some of it